Imagine a virus spreading across 70,000 islands and no one yet know where it's come from, how fast it's moving, and how it is changing. That was Indonesia in 2020. Okay, Astrid, what the first thing we can learn from this journal?
Okay, Maul. So basically, this study actually addressed interconnection about two problems. So the first problem is COVID-19 in Indonesia. The research want to know how COVID in Indonesia spreading and which province has the most cases and five provinces with the highest case fatality or CFR and five provinces with the highest cure rate. And the second topic is about genetic relationship of SARS coronavirus 2. This study buildings a phylogenetic tree or evolutionary kinship in this picture to comparing the Indonesia SARS coronavirus 2 genome with virus from other countries such as United States and China. This phylogenetic tree is examining the evolutionary relationship of coronavirus 2 with other coronavirus such as bad coronavirus, SARS coronavirus, MERS coronavirus, and Panglian coronavirus. And why does this problem matter? One, it's understanding the spread of the pandemic. Two, it understands the mutation and the evolution of the virus. And three, it supports vaccine development. Research this time is focused on Wuhan, China, or global epidemiology, and very little was known about Indonesia specifically. So this paper was designed to fill the gap and there's describing the COVID-19 situation in Indonesia and conducting the genetic analysis of the virus. So that we know what the problem about this study or this paper was trying to solve. So the next question is, how exactly did they go about solving it?
So after knowing the problem that this journal tried to solve, we also need to understand the statistical method and variable they use in this paper. This paper used two distinct types of the data that were analyzed separately but combined in the final location. Then moving on to the method used. For the first dataset, the researchers using descriptive statistic analysis, meaning there was no hypothesis. Basically, they only calculate the CFR and core rate and then rank the top 5 province with the highest value. But for the second dataset, they use the statistical method. They use the maximum likelihood phylogenetic method. For the first, the researchers download the sequence of data and then like all sequence position by position. And the next, they apply the Tamurani model and combine it with the maximum likelihood method to build the phylogenetic tree. Lastly, to make the phylogenetic model more reliable and robust, the researchers used bootstrap validation with 1,000 replicates. After conducting this different analysis, the researchers combine both the results using the narrative analysis to understand the distribution and evolutionary relationship of the SARS-CoV-2 in Indonesia. Okay, Astrid, those were the long steps that researchers used to solve this problem. But for the real question, did the researcher find something special?
We got 4 key results of this paper. First one is COVID-19 has spread throughout Indonesia with the highest number of cases in province DKI Jakarta and Jawa Barat. The second, Indonesia has relatively high GFR compared to the world average, with the province with the highest GFR is Banten and Jawa Timur. 3. SARS-CoV-2 is closely related to bird coronavirus from Wuhan, China. And the last one, transmission is due to community and mobilization and compliance. So, did the model perform well? This paper not use any machine learning model. However, the phylogenetic analysis used was successfully is constructing viral evolutionary tree, showing relationship between isolates and regenerating 1,000 times bootstrap validation. Okay, two biological mechanisms were central. The AC2 receptor, which SARS coronavirus 2 used to enter the lung cell, and the virus RNA nature, making it highly prone to mutation shaped by travel history and host immune pressure. Those are the strong findings, but no study is without limitation. And honestly, being critical about study strength and weakness is just important as the understanding the results. So please break it down that for me, Maul.
Okay, as we know that every research paper must have its limitation. And this paper also has several strengths and limitations, but first let's break down the strength of this paper. First, the paper used a combination of maximum likelihood method and the Tamurani model to build the phylogenetic tree SARS-CoV-2. And second, in the final indication, the researchers combine epidemiological, molecular, and biological perspective, even though the integration still needs further development. And next, this paper was one of the first studies to analyze Indonesia SARS-CoV-2. And lastly, the researchers used bootstrap validation with 1,000 replicates. However, this study also has several limitations. First, the study used a very small number of isolates and has a short temporal coverage, since the data only until 8 May 2020. This meaning there were varieties such as Delta and Omicron not included in the analysis. And the second, there was a geographical sampling bias because all Indonesia isolates come only from the Jakarta city gen. The third, the paper only used a single gen, specifically the N gen, rather than using the whole genome sequence. And lastly, the integration between epidemiological and the genomic result was still mostly narrative and interpretative without formal statistical analysis. Okay, so based on that limitation identified, the next researchers can take several steps to improve the analysis. First, by expanding the geographical and temporal coverage of Indonesia isolate, the sampling should not focus only for the Jakarta city gen, but also including isolate sampling from other provinces across Indonesia. The second, we can changing from the single gen analysis to the whole gen analysis. The whole gen analysis sequence can capture mutation across the entire SARS-CoV-2. And the next, we can replacing descriptive analysis with the quantitative modeling, such as Bayesian analysis, which has already been widely used in the many recent paper. And lastly, to make the analysis more impactful, spatial analysis can also be added to determine the geographical distribution and transmission pattern of COVID-19 across Indonesia. And yeah, that's the last slide of our final review of this paper.